So, Sweetpea. I watched the first season, and then I checked out the books. Well, I fully listened to the second book on audiobook and a little bit of the first book. The first thing I want to say is that Sweetpea from the books, if she ever met Sweetpea from the show, she would eat her alive, basically. Just no context. No contest. Like, Sweetpea from the books would definitely easily dismantle Sweetpea from the show. They are fundamentally different. Sweetpea from the show has, like, I haven't, season 2 hasn't come out yet, but yeah, like, Ella Purnell is great. I like her. The season felt like a less intense version of You season 2. Like a fun little let's be a serial killer type thing. Like, yeah, like whereas the books are ugly. Like there's this sleaziness to people. They're like evil in a certain way that is almost realistic, except it's not set in the 80s, and I don't think the thought process would match what people's dysfunction these days would be. Like in book 1, I'm gonna spoil the books a little bit here. In the first book, she's dating a guy who's cheating her. And he's like, let's have a baby. And they're engaged, but they're not married yet. So you're cheating on your girl, and you want your girl to have a baby with you, but you're cheating on your girl with this other chick. Okay. I mean, that's believable. Okay. So, like, New Year, she's going back to her house. Some guy sitting by the park. He wants her to give him a blowjob, and if she resists, she's gonna get raped, and she knows it. And that just felt very 80s to me. There are certain things that just don't work in a modern setting, where you can find equivalent levels of dysfunction, but they're just like making, like, it's like the problem with vigilantes. Like, Batman takes on crime families, and every now and then he spots someone in an alley and intervenes. Batman doesn't go after just anyone. Like, he's like an effective, competent, like, Batman. Whereas, like, generic rip-off superhero stuff just focuses on superheroes taking on, like, low-level crime. But it's like a really low-level crime, and it's like this nonsense idea that, like, you have crime everywhere. It's not the 80s anymore. It doesn't make any sense. Like, your wild idiot jackasses, I'm sorry, but they have certain criteria to them that is fairly obvious, and it's distinct from the 80s. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a lot more likely that the guy who's trying to rape the chick is gonna be some type of migrant with a mask and a machete. And he'll have his friends with him. I'm sorry, but it's not the 80s anymore. That being said, if it were still the 80s, Sweetpea the books just feel more real. They don't feel more real because of the selection of the baddies. Like, it needs work with the selection of the baddies. Like, it's not the 80s anymore. You're not gonna find rapists around every corner. It just doesn't make any sense. Some of the more realistic dysfunction, like the guy wanting her to have his baby while cheating on her with a side piece, sure, I'd buy that. Like, weird pedophile woman thingy from the second book, I don't know if she's referencing something that happened in the news. I can get how that would work, but, like, seriously, like, there are so many things. And I don't get why she's mad at her sister at the end of the second book. Yeah, her sister turned her in, but why is she mad at her sister? Like, it's pretty obvious that her sister is correct about her being potentially dangerous, and she knows that she's dangerous, and it's pretty obvious. Like, I haven't gotten to the third one yet, but yeah, that felt like a little disjointed to me. So, Sweetpea, the TV show, feels a lot more realistic because the dysfunction of the cartoon characters is more topical, is more realistic to me. Whereas Sweetpea, the books, feels more slimy and ugly and almost realistic. Like, the kills feel somewhat realistic, except like just there's an issue with the world building where it's like 60s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s types of extremes. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm very confused about why she never, like, there's this one like glaring world building issue about how she framed her boyfriend. I'm sorry, I spoiled the book. She frames her boyfriend with his cum. Like, but they're trying to have a baby. So the only way to frame him is if none of her juices got mixed in with the cum. Because his cum is mixed in with her juices, isn't it? So it would only be possible for his side piece to be the one who framed him, because he would have been using a condom with her, which isolates the cum inside the condom. I mean, that's how you it is a glaring world building issue. It is a glaring world building issue. It's in your face. It's a glaring world building issue, and it's just like it kind of breaks some of the immersion. It does destroy a lot of the immersion, coupled with the random, oh, I hate my sister, even though I spent all this time talking about how it was nice with her giving me the doll houses and the things. Like, it does feel like disjointed, whereas the show is more focused, more silly, less intense, but fun. The show is like season 2 of You, the series, but less intense. So, I don't know. I just like El Purnell better. I'm sorry for the book fans, but like you gotta admit the show is more focused and more competent in its world building. I mean, it's unrealistic that the cop lady from the show, would be that obsessed with her. But it is like a plot contrivance that fits more well in the world. Whereas in the books, because you're making the killing so slimy and realistic and ugly, like my brain goes into, is it like realism mode, and like I question everything. Okay, so that's what I think.